Baseball has a way of sticking with you. It's a game built on failure, on bouncing back after a strikeout, after a bad hop, even after a call you don't agree with. And somewhere, between the long bus rides, early practices, and late inning pressure, it begins to really teach you who you are. For some, it's just a season. For others, it becomes part of their story. Vincent Boyles has spent most of his life on a baseball field, first as a player, now as a coach. But his journey hasn't been smooth or scripted. It's been shaped by moments that didn't always go his way, and a few that did. During the regional tournament, those characteristics would become very evident. His team battled through close games, unexpected weather delays, and wins that nobody saw coming, except for them. It wasn't perfect baseball, but it was gritty, and it got them a regional title, the first in 10 years. Now, he's back where it started, coaching the same team he once played for, drawing on the highs and lows of his own playing days to push his players to be tougher, smarter, and better prepared. Vincent Boyles didn't chase a spotlight, he chased growth. And today, he's passing that mindset on to the next generation.
Vincent Boyles, I teach here at Southwestern. I've been teaching here for 5 years, and I've been helping coach baseball for 5 years now as the assistant. Yeah, obviously it was a special group of guys. We had a few years there, a good stretch. Our program was really talented, but that was the year we were able to put it all together. So that's what made it special. It wasn't just the end result, winning the championship, definitely a special group.
And a special group it was. The kind of team people still talk about. They were known as the Tater Gang, a nickname that had stuck a couple years prior, but what they didn't know going into this tournament was just how wild it would be, full of twists, grit, and the kind of moments that turn a season into a story.
So there was definitely a belief within the team. The year before, we made a run, got deep into the postseason, and fell short in the region championship game, got region runner-up that year. The belief among that group, like my class and the class above me, which would have been sophomore, junior class in 2014, there was definitely a belief among us that, hey, we're ready to make a run. We were not the favorites in the region tournament. Like I said, Somerset, West Jessamine. From what I remember, we had a tough draw where we were on the same side as West Jessamine. We ended up playing them in the second round, which turned out to be a pretty crazy game. Ended up winning that game. And then Somerset, the final game, was a big crosstown rival matchup. That was a heated game, and we ended up coming out on top. So just kind of got hot at the right time. It was a crazy string of events leading up to the game because we played the second round game 2 nights before against West Jess. They were the favorites. It really seemed like that was the big game. We were playing in the 7th inning, and it gets rained out. We went a couple days without even finishing that game. We go up a couple days later and have to finish that game, have to go get the last 2 outs of that game, and then turn around and play the region championship an hour later. So it was definitely a different way of doing things. We turn around and we play that game, and I just remember just the place being packed. We played it up at West Jessamine, and the place was just fans everywhere. We had a guy that pitched, and it didn't start off too well. So we pulled him in our second or third inning. I was catching at the time. One of those seniors comes in a relief role and shuts him out for the rest of the game. I mean, he pitched great. Wyatt Burton's his name. He did a great job, shut the game down, double play to end it. So had runners on, I believe, second and third. Line drive right there, second baseman, double the guy up at second, the game's over. So it just happened in a split second, a swing of emotions where you go from runner on second and third. They've definitely got the momentum. And then all of a sudden we catch, turn the double play, and boom, that's it. It's over. Like I said, that was just a crazy day. You play that second round game, turn around, play the third round game very quickly. Oh, it was just chaotic. You know, it was kind of like a blur in a moment, especially right after it happened. All of a sudden we make that play, and it's just kind of in shock at first. We obviously dogpile, parents come out, and at that moment, that's when that really sets in. You know, when the parents come out and dad comes up and hugs me, all the dads are out there hugging their kids. It's just a surreal moment.
Winning the region championship was electric. It was a rush of joy, relief, and pride all at once. For Vincent, for the team, and for all of their family members in the stands, it was a moment that they would never forget. Years of work had paid off in the biggest way so far. But even in the middle of all of the celebration, they all knew one thing. The job wasn't finished. The next step, the state tournament, was just around the corner, and the stakes were even higher.
Yeah, it was definitely a nerve-wracking time for me. I was just a sophomore at the time when they told me that I was ball. I was really excited about the opportunity leading up to that day. I don't think I ate a single thing, was just nervous to death. Luckily, we played the first game of the day. The place wasn't nearly as packed as that region championship game. But yeah, that was definitely a great moment for me, being able to pitch out there at Applebee's Park. I've been a baseball nut forever. I grew up going to those games, and being able to get out there and be on that same field as professional baseball players was an incredibly exciting moment for me.
When it came time to open up the state tournament, all eyes were on Vincent. He was chosen to start by his coaches, and that was a huge honor, but also a heavy responsibility. The nerves were real. He felt the weight of the moment, knowing what was at stake. But around him, his teammates were calm, confident, and loose. They were not rattled by the spotlight. They were not concerned about their opponent. They trusted each other, and they trusted Vincent. And for a while, it felt like they were right where they belonged.
I pitched it pretty well. We got matched up with Simon Kitten. I remember when they came in, they didn't really look intimidating to us. We felt like, just from a look standpoint and a talent standpoint, we felt right off the bat that we were the better team. I think we were just expecting somebody to keep getting a big hit. It never happened. We kept it really close, and then ended up being a very controversial moment. But that play goes different. I think we have a different outcome. I believe it was in the bottom of the sixth. We got runners on second and third. One of our guys hits a kind of a blooper, a typical triangle ball between right field, center field, and second base. It looks like it's going to drop. The right fielder dives for it at the very last moment. And the whole park knows that the guy didn't catch it. I really do believe that. The only person that didn't was the field umpire, that definitely missed the call, taking his time getting up. All of a sudden, he pulls out the ball from his side right here, says he caught it. As good teams do, they sell the call. They're running off the field. They say they caught the ball, and they definitely fooled the umpire. The umpire calls it out. If they call that he drops it, those 2 runs score. At that moment, we kind of start to bust it open. That guy was definitely on the rocks. It seemed like he was struggling there a little bit. They went in with somebody else the next inning. He just kind of limped out of the inning, so to speak, and they made that play. Interestingly enough, the next team that is playing the next game, they're lined up in right field. And I remember them, a couple of players, because we knew them, they came up to us and told us, he did not catch that ball. They definitely made it sting, knowing the kid didn't catch it. It would have put us up. I truly believe we would end up winning that game. Who knows what would have happened from there. We had momentum there at the end, and all things just, that was it. That was our last run at it. In the 7th, we went 3 up, 3 down. I think that was almost kind of it. That's kind of how sports are. It's a lot of momentum. So definitely took things out of it at that point.
That loss stayed with Vincent, not just because of the call, but because of what it taught him. That sometimes, no matter how prepared you are, the game of baseball can still break your heart. But it also taught him resilience, perspective, and how to lead through disappointment. Now, as a coach, he brings all of that with him. He teaches his players to control what they can, to play with heart, and to keep their heads up no matter the outcome, because he's been there. He's felt the weight of the moment. Since that 2014 run, Southwestern hasn't made it back to a state tournament. But last season, with the help of Vincent coaching, they came close, reaching the region championship game. It was a sign of progress and a reminder of how far they've come and how close they are to breaking through once again. For Vincent, it's not just about wins and losses. It's about building something lasting, a culture of belief, accountability, and pride. Get back to that stage. And this time, finish the job.
It's definitely a full circle moment. That year, 2014, it definitely made some very special memories for me personally. It grew my love even more for this program and this school. I'm ready to give back to the program that did so much for me. Obviously, really hoping that we can make another run like that sometime soon. It's now a full circle moment, being able to lead the guys and maybe make a run at that someday.